You get on my nerves. All right, we are back. Same outfits, different time.
Y'all,
No, we don't drink on this show.
we're doing marathon recordings for
We
y'all.
got things to do. So
Yes.
I done gone from head wrap to hat.
Look, now I'm going from one tired face to another.
But we back, okay?
Yes,
We staying
yes.
on schedule. All right. So I am Ralph, the coach, certified life coach.
I am Candi from Candi Conversations, where I host lovely discussions about all things life, but mainly surrounding relationships.
Amen. All right. So Candy, what you got for us? Because you know we jumping right on in here.
I want to dive into the effect of social media on relationships. The good, the bad, the ugly. Like, of course, there's a lot of personal things we can say to that, but then, like, just generally, what do we see? Um, I'll start. You
You're like,
know,
I want to say.
I
Go
think
ahead.
it interferes with authenticity a lot
It can, yes.
because people can hide or create even a facade using social media that isn't truly who they are. But then I think also on the other side, like, so it can affect the getting to know you process. But then once you're in a relationship, it can have an effect on, honestly, like connection, communication, just depending on how much you, I guess, engage with it. Because, this is the age of serial scrollers who just sit and scroll all day. So I do know there are certain, I guess, boundaries that could be set or habits that couples take on together, like, no phone at the dinner table or um, no tech time even.
Mm-hmm.
I know, excuse me, I know of a married couple that after 8 p.m. they don't use technology at all. Um, but it's funny because growing up, that was no TV after 8 for us, right? Like we're going to bed. It's a completely different scenario. I think also one thing for me personally, I get sometimes irritated, and I'm not saying like particularly in my relationship, but just people in general, like who there is valuable information online, but it's not always like the final say.
No, yeah,
And
yeah.
them people bother me.
Wait,
'Cause-
so it's the people who take whatever they see as that's concrete. That's
right,
what, that word is born. That's it.
right,
Oh,
right.
yeah, no, you
And
got
there's like no other evidence. You have no experience to tie to that, to even validate it. But because I saw it on there, it's gold. No, that's
no, no.
no. So, um, am I bothered by the constant scrolling? Not always, not really. It depends. But I am bothered when people, "Well, I saw online, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, yeah, but I've actually done that, and that's not true,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So that would be my biggest issue. As far as like putting, I think the other part, there's so many layers to this thing with social media, because it can even be like just like how much of your relationship do you share on social media?
Mhm.
Um, like there are photos of me and my significant other online, but I didn't flag it as like my man, my man, my man.
Yeah.
So, and it's not enough on there for people to be able to be like, oh, you would have had to been introduced to him and been somewhere out with us to know that it's him. And I don't know, it just kind of started that way. He's a scroller, but he's not like a poster
Yeah.
on, so he just kind of looks at stuff. So we haven't really had a discussion about like what do we put on there and what don't we, because we both don't really, why you ain't post me yet? That it's not either one of our personalities. So, um, But I do know that it can cause issues for some people. I know married people who aren't friends on social media.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What are your there's so much that can come from this. I don't have relationship issues because of social media because again, we don't live in it like that or post enough for people to know what's going on like that. So I post my posts that I make have nothing to do with my relationship. My family, yeah, but not my romantic. But
You
it,
are so stupid.
yeah,
I can't stand you.
I'm just saying, they'll know when I'm married, maybe.
Oh God,
I'm
Jesus.
like, y'all see that? Yeah, my eyebrows itchy. That's all y'all need to know.
uh,
Keep guessing.
um, so were you asking me about the married thing personally, or no? You
I
just
kind of went off on all the things, all the
I
layers. So
see.
you could pick a layer or you could talk
So
about, I mean, and there might be sides of it that I'm not even thinking of that.
um, as you said to me, I'll just do the positive. I do think um social media allows you to gain more information.
Mhm.
Right? Because before I wouldn't know what was going on in other countries
Right.
unless the US decided
Right. To
that
let
it
us
was going
know.
to let us
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
Other than that, unless you knew somebody over there, you wasn't gonna,
Right.
So
That's true.
I do like that. Um, I do like as because I am a researcher, gatherer of
Hmm.
information. My friends know me as being resourceful. I don't mean to, but I tend to just gain information and just hoard it until one day say, Ralph, do you know? Actually, I do.
And she's gonna have multiple resources, not just one,
Yeah.
not just one post. I'm gonna send you four more. Wait, I saw them all. You know,
Because
right,
again, like how you said, I didn't see one thing because then
right.
for me, I go down a rabbit hole to
Hmm.
uncover. I don't just stop there and then just
Right.
like, oh yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
So then I get more information. So if someone asks, like, okay, well, where did you get this from? I can speak on it. I like to
Right.
speak on things.
Right.
Um, so for me, I love that, and I've always been someone who love going down the rabbit hole with new things that I can discover um on the internet. I remember the days. I've never really been a IG person,
Hmm.
but honey, I used to tear that YouTube up. Tear it up, okay? I would be on there any little free time I get looking up, DIY things, and then
Hmm.
another video come up that, oh, that's
Hmm.
interesting. Ain't got nothing to do with I need
Right.
or desire.
Right.
But
Right.
again, just being resourceful. This is interesting. Let me
Hmm.
see what this is about. And just gaining more information like that. About books, about, tips and tools that you can find that people do, finding people that might can help you with things.
Yes.
All type of, so I do love it for that reason, right?
Hmm.
Um, even for the people who can take on, what do you call it? Like celebrity gossip stuff lightly.
Hmm.
Because again, you do have those
Yeah.
people who go too far left with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just entertainment. It's
Right.
you
Right.
like having that separation of entertainment and real life, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I don't feel it's a lot of us anymore, but I
Hmm.
do feel um a good amount of millennials, because we grew up at the start. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not talking about the later, the 90s millennials. I'm talking about the 80 at the top of the millennial who grew up without it and then was at an age to,
Yeah.
be able to handle it. Where
Right.
the latter end of millennials, they went on into it with Facebook, and so they grew up with social media. We didn't grow up with social media.
Right.
So some of us, like myself, I can be in this house and I'd be like, oh, she went my phone.
Right. Right.
Where a lot of us is just like,
Right.
can't get away, got to put all our business out there. And
Mm-hmm.
then the rest of us are looking like, girl, why is she on here? Or why is he telling all their business?
Can
So
I
that's they.
can I say I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was too ashamed of myself when I had some flashbacks pop up on Facebook. And it was like going to the store to get these spaghetti noodles. And I'm like, what? I
I
was
could,
posting like that. I
I was
was like
too.
embarrassed that
I
I
was
was
too.
that person.
Facebook will embarrass you. Because
What?
I looked at someone, what was I talking about?
I was like, did I really? I was that person, like play by play all day.
No,
Yeah,
no, I
putting
didn't
this
do that.
sauce in the pot now. Like,
I didn't do the play by play, but I think I'm still the same poster that I was then. It's it's just like I would put my, I could tell if I was watching the game. But I
right.
I never was on Twitter, so I was that person who would put, like, I would talk smack on Facebook,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
right, should have been on Twitter.
But it was, it was all we were in the
Yeah,
developmental
and it was
stages.
the early stages. So
Yeah, yeah.
um that relationship wise, um I have posted um people that I've dated and been married to.
Mm-hmm.
I also, because we also have the parents, I do post my son sometime. He does have his page, but it is private and only people we know on it. Like
Mm-hmm.
only can see his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also don't post a lot over there either.
Right.
I don't do that. Um, because I do think there is still safety parameters around that you have to have. Um, because people are, and even when yourself, like I'm a person that I'm not in the moment posting where I'm at. More
Right.
likely, I'm already gone.
Right.
I'm already
Mm-hmm.
gone. Once you see it on social,
Mm-hmm.
I'm already gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with that. Again, I am not if you look at any of my social media, you could tell it is not frequent. So I would be I don't want to match with someone who is an influencer or
Mm.
someone who is a heavy poster. Um, because even when I think I've said this on here before, even when I am on the phone talking, I am not engaging in anything else.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if I want to talk to you, I don't want you on, I feel like that's
Right.
disrespectful. I want your
Mm-hmm.
undivided attention.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if you're consistently like on social,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing? So that means you're not doing your work, because I see if I just happen to be on and I see you on and you're supposed to be at work. I mean, are you working?
Right.
And then when you get home, do you have stuff to do? Do you need to take out the trash?
Right.
Do you need to, because then I'm starting to get irritated because responsibilities are then falling behind to you being on social media where, I even tell my son, priorities first, play later.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you got stuff to do, do it first, get that
So
out
you
the way,
can,
and then you can go ahead and chill and relax and do whatever you want to do.
right.
So me having to tell an adult that I
Mhm.
don't want to be put in that position,
Right.
right?
Right.
Um, I do think it can be fun. Me, again, I'm just talking about the last relationship I had because that's what it was. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So me and my ex-husband, I wasn't on TikTok then. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was still very YouTube heavy, and he was when TikTok first came around, he was on TikTok. So then we would have sometimes TikTok dates. So
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have an account, we would use his house. So it would be bedtime. We would get in the bed, and
Mm-hmm.
then we would scroll because a lot of his was just like entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And so, comedians, skits and stuff like that, and we will wait till we get
That's
to
cute.
yeah. So we will be on there scrolling on TikTok till we find the best one to where like we we would laugh. So I mean, talking about that laugh would come from that pinky toe and come all the way up, honey. It would be no sound come out. And then we would be now, mind you, when we're doing this, we're in the sheets, covers up,
Mhm.
and we're like this in the bed. He holding the phone, and we just like this, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But we not sliding out the bed. Uh,
Because
and
now
then
it is entertaining. It
yes,
can
it is
be.
some things because some
Yeah.
people are very creative, and so
Right.
then once we get that good laugh, we like okay, now we go,
Right.
now we go sleep. So some nights it's not every night, but then one of us say TikTok date. If you TikTok date, let's do it.
Look,
And we
I love those memes when people are like, I gotta be up at 7
yeah,
a.m.
like I'm scrolling.
and I'm in the bed.
So like if it can something you could do together,
Right, right,
yeah, because I feel like I said, if you're scrolling and responsibilities are put on the back burner,
right.
if I'm feeling like neglected because I'm like trying to have a conversation with you about whatever happened in my day, and you're
Mm-hmm.
doing like this to me,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to talk to you. I
Mm-hmm.
do think people should have their time because I know some people, like if you're introverted, if you deal with anxiety, sometimes that helps.
Yeah.
Sometimes that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, authenticity, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
Buzzword.
Ciao.
Because you can be whoever you want to be with social
Honey,
media.
you can be whoever you want to doggone be.
Ever.
So twofold here for me.
Okay.
Because this is one side is personal and one side is just, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you do it does allow people to like you said, have a facade and
Mm-hmm.
even try to curate that facade in real life because this is something
Yeah.
you have to hold up, right? And we also
Yes.
have men and women who do this,
Oh.
you know, when it comes down to the face tune, when it comes down to even how you are not perceiving, portraying your life as you're a jet setter. You're always in these different
Mm-hmm.
companies, and
Right.
you might be a producer or
Mm-hmm.
all of these different things. And even influencer. You're
Mm-hmm.
a popular influencer, so what I'm saying, you that person, where you could really, because a lot of people don't know, especially on Instagram, you can have a whole bunch of followers and not be making no money.
Yeah.
But it is perceived because you got 11 K followers
Yeah.
and you're posting on here and you look like you're going to these dinners and you have a different outfit on.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand that you taking those outfits back, and what I'm saying,
Right.
you're trying to get brand deals, you're trying to do these
Mm-hmm.
things, but to the naked eye, it's like, oh shoot, they getting it,
Right.
right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then you have little old me, right? And I don't necessarily do all of that.
Right.
I like I said, I pop out. I am not consistent. I am not, and I don't want to be consistent to tell you. I don't want to be consistent because that's come with burnout. People struggle. Even big content creators will tell you that this is your life. Like
Not for the faint.
you can't have you can't go to brunch with your friends without you being y'all. I'm sorry, but I got to get content.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't get to have those just moments of because everything is content, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live like that.
Right. Right.
But what I'm saying is the little bit I post, the fitness stuff I post, the funny stuff that I post,
Mm-hmm.
I hate perceivers get a fantasy of me that I'm not even putting out there.
Right. Right.
So then,
Right.
what I'm saying, your perception, and again, because I don't post them, I'm trying to figure out what did you get?
Because it's not a lot to you, but to them,
To them, they've already gathered up and not asked any questions. And so that really puts me in the mind frame that you're making me think that what you see on social media is true. It's not that I'm putting out anything to perceive, but I don't give enough for you to even gather nothing. So if I know I'm not putting out the most, I feel like you can gather is she works out all the time. She, always rocking with her son. They're like two peas in a pod, and she goes out here and there. What else have you gathered?
You live in a life though, girl.
She, I mean, I am.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
for them, yeah.
So why I say that is people don't take the time to get to know people and
Right.
to also confirm my findings. Here is another resource because when I've met people and I can tell what age range they're in, let me get your Instagram because they
Mm.
want to go to your Instagram. I'm right here.
Right, right. Why you
Scroll
not
through
doing
my
that?
pictures that I curated. When
Right.
I'm right here, you can talk to
hmm
me right here, but you feel you can get to know me better through this. So that already lets me know how old you are, right?
Yep, that's what they lean to. And I mean, you said some things that caught my attention, like on the positive side, because I feel like a little bit of mine was like
A Debbie Downer. You just like,
doom and gloom. But on the positive side, I will say I have been encouraged by someone to use more Ticker Talker than the other socials. And it does give better info on certain things and multiple resources,
yeah,
different viewpoints that all come to the same basic point. But like for me, on a positive note, travel is huge. Like how to live in these different places. What do you need? Like,
experiencing though this was like, and you can go through I feel, and this is just my opinion, I
mhm,
feel IG is aesthetics, and I said this before, it's fake. It's for fake, and I hate to say for fake people, but it is
mhm.
for because you don't. And as much as I try to scroll, one, it takes me too long to laugh, so I'm not even getting entertained. You know what I'm saying? So that's one. Two, I'm not seeing anything really resourceful because
Right.
I see what I see a lot on Instagram, a lot of those relationship chats. Like we probably need to put our stuff on there because that's all you see.
Yeah,
It's
you're right.
pastors talking about
hmm
panels,
Yeah.
it's a lot of relationship reels, quotes, everything
hmm
is like relationship. You'll get funny, zodiac things, um,
Right.
parent stuff,
hmm
you a parent because, or you love football is, but nothing.
hmm
I'm not scrolling and be like, oh,
Right.
where you
Right.
have people doing lives. Oh, let me give you nothing I hate. Let me go back for a minute. I hate when people talk about a platform that aren't on a platform. So that's like me talking about bashing Twitter and I'm not on
Right.
Twitter.
Right.
I don't know what y'all do
Right.
over there on Twitter. I don't know. So I'm
Same.
not gonna say.
No
But
clue.
people who are not even on TikTok, all they do is dance over there. That's how I can tell you ain't on there.
Right.
Because that is
Right.
that is so 2000.
Not.
Ain't nobody dancing like that no more, girl.
No, not
It
really. No.
it is so that one of the reasons why they want to ban it is because the information is getting to the masses faster.
hmm
People
hmm
are getting the news. People are getting from other countries what is going on.
hmm
Genocide, all kind of things is happening, and I'm
hmm
not seeing that on IG.
hmm
I'm getting hands on. This happened today on TikTok. You getting
hmm
people who are trying to help people in real estate. You're trying to help people with their
Right.
taxes, with their credit,
hmm
how to sell digital products. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is on, but IG makes it hard for people to have their content seen and for you to make money. So,
Yeah.
that's why I don't like it because as someone
hmm
who has a business, when I tell you when I first came out, the struggle. But again, I'm getting more eyes on TikTok. It's just,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So that was my thing about people bashing a platform. That's like people like, oh, YouTube, all you, no, YouTube, Honey,
Yeah.
when I'm researching something, it is Google, YouTube,
Yeah.
TikTok. Ain't
You
nobody
let me
go.
tell y'all, YouTube is a
They call it YouTube University for a reason.
because
They
and
call
that
it
was
TikTok
a part
University
of
for
my
a reason.
list was like the travel. I found out like there's a lot of places that I'm learning that I want to see in person that I would have never thought of had I not been exposed to it through social media. Um, and then after you see like going back to multiple resources, seeing more and more people that have been to these places that have similar experiences that are providing, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a chance. And I'm a person, I'll take a chance on something because I'm gonna make sure I got a round trip, right? Then even stuff like couple tips, so like sometimes things to talk about, things to do,
Things to
places to
do
go
together.
together,
Yeah.
date ideas. Those are the types of things that I like to see pop up and do pop up for me because those are things that I look into.
And my
Sometimes even
favorite,
like gift ideas for him,
yeah. And my favorite restaurants.
that too,
Yeah.
like where
See
to,
people's reviews and this,
yep.
they got good food and things I'll save more so that stuff. But I wanted to go back to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So good and bad social media for me, perspective, authenticity, you know, married people in relationship things. Um, the whole thing about not that's their boundary thing. I don't know. I didn't feel I never understood why some people and if you're one of these people, can you just put in the comments? I never understood why some married people say I don't want their social media. I don't want to because that to me it brings up a heaviness when I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me, and I know this is negative, but it makes me feel like something has already happened to now. I don't want to even be on your social because either I'm going to take maybe someone giving you a compliment and I'm going to run off into
Mm-hmm.
the hills
Mm-hmm.
and be, who is that? Why they,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it goes to something negative. It
Mm-hmm.
goes to something negative as to why wouldn't you want to be on, like, you don't have to be stalking it, but I know, like, for me and my ex, like, if he posted something the kids did and we were together, he tagged me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I comment, but you know what I'm saying, every day, I don't know. I just never got that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it just looked like to me, because also is how it's said. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't want to be, we don't share social media. So that gives me negative, like something has
Mm-hmm.
happened or
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to see something. So yeah. Relationship, I do feel there needs to be boundaries in place when you do have
Mm-hmm.
a relationship because there are very insecure, toxic people out there, and they are so toxic that they want to be picked, but they want the challenge of being picked by somebody who's already been picked. So yeah, you in a relationship, but I want to know if you pick me over them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then I am going to flirt. I am going to see if you're going to lure yourself over here, even though you have a person.
Right.
Just because I'm that severely insecure and I can't get my own single person, I want the
Wow.
challenge of you picking me because again, I'm a pick me,
Right.
and I feel like, and this is for men too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pick me because you know you got men who come to the DMs be like, your man treating you right.
Mm-hmm.
Go ask
Sure
him.
do. Yep.
Go ask him.
Yeah. Be
Where
just
you
as
have
bold to ask him as you asking me.
where you have some females be like, oh, no, why are you even answering him?
Right. Don't even want, yeah. No
Yeah.
response is still a
So just
response.
being careful of posting all the time because there are some people who fantasize and like, well, he do that for
Mm-hmm.
her. I want him to do that for me.
Right.
Or he don't even deserve her. I'm gonna slide
Right.
in the DMs because she need a better man than that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Come on, sir.
Yeah.
You
It's like
know?
you open yourself up for so much
And
that
if you're not stable, if you're not secure, if you're not
mm-hmm.
confident enough in your relationship, if you don't have boundaries for that relationship, oh, they coming.
Yeah.
They are coming. And
Mm-hmm.
so I do think I don't feel like I said earlier, you need to allow someone that opportunity that you hope that they do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just put a boundary in place. If it happens, you know what to do. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if you are not someone who put down boundaries, more than likely you're going to have people that come in that allow issues in your relationship because of social media. And then next,
Right.
everybody is either off social media or the relationship is done because of social media.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And you just
Right.
have to know those people are out there. Um, because those people were out before social media. People are going to be,
Facts.
you know, they could see you at work and oh, he always talking about his girlfriend or whatever. I want somebody to talk about me like that. Girl, well, find you somebody. Don't get him, find you somebody.
My goodness,
My
people.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it has I feel like it's 50-50. I don't feel like it's
Mhm.
80-20. I feel like it is 50-50. Just as much bad there
Yeah, you're
is,
right.
there is, but it's depending on what you're looking for and what you are enticed by.
Because I'm gonna be real. I'm not with a man that if I walk by and happen to glance over, and I'm not a snooper at all. But if I should happen to see him scrolling or whatnot, I'm not seeing nobody twerking. I'm not seeing, you know what I'm saying? So it also has a lot to do with the person that you're with.
Yeah.
He's not that guy. And I'm not to say it never goes across, you know what I'm saying? Because it's social media.
Yeah.
There are things that pop up sometimes. I was like, I don't want to see that. And I'll swipe it away quick. But I do know that sometimes the issue with social media is some people feel like it's like soft cheating almost. Like, people are on there fantasizing about other people. I ain't looking.
And I
If
even
it's
be
a nice
fantasizing.
looking guy, I'm like, oh, he's
Yeah.
handsome. But like just the constant, that's what I'm targeting. That's what I'm going after. Even when I'm right next to him, I could be enjoying his company, but I'm trying to find more. There are those people out there. So I'm not saying that that's not a thing, but like Ralph said, it's 50-50. It's 50-50 because it can be just as good. Like I go and I check out like a lot of ladies and I'm like, oh, I want to see what colors are in right
Oh
now
yeah.
for this
Mhm.
season and styling and getting ideas when I gotta go to an event or something like that. Cause sometimes I know and sometimes I don't. But it's as with anything.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Do you feel like a social is necessary?
No, what you mean to, well, pause. For me professionally, yes. Socially,
Outside of professionally.
necessary. The only reason I would say yes would be simply, honestly, my family. We kind of use it to communicate sometimes, not necessarily with the posting, but like the the messenger services and whatnot. We use that a lot, like every day. And then sometimes it is how I connect with friends that I'm not in the same city with.
Yeah.
But if I really had to toss it to the wind, I got a phone, I got internet, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's not necessary, aside from like for professional reasons, no, because I know how to get in touch with people if I really need to. But then also, I'm gonna be real, it's a lot better information if I just use TikTok. And I like the example of style ideas. Yeah, you can Google and go on like Pinterest, which is still social, but it's like
Yeah, so
a lot of people
but I'm
don't.
saying Google, because all that's social.
Right.
So all of that go away, internet, YouTube, all the social
Yeah,
media.
no. And it's necessary. I mean, I'm in the field of education and I know I did say, even if not talking professionally, but yeah, is necessary. It's just kind of a lot. It's become necessary because of how they've pushed it too, you know? Like we don't have the resources. We don't have as many resources as we once had before social media became such a big thing. Like I think there were a lot more like books, magazines, and newspaper, you know what I'm saying? Different things like that that we had access to. They're still out there, but it's just not as much of a variety. Like we don't even got as many stores to go in and just walk around and see what's in there anymore because the internet is putting them out of business because
Yeah.
people aren't going in stores. So,
Now I would say now I do think it's very much so necessary as a resource junkie or and research.
right.
Um, but I disagree on the resource part. I think it's more resources now because
Mhm.
I'm tapping into areas that I couldn't even reach because again, with
Mhm.
newspaper, magazines, it's
Mhm.
what you want me to know,
Right. You're right.
not
Right.
what's out there, right?
Right.
And
Hmm.
that's another thing why, especially the United States doesn't like it because it gets to govern what we see because they like
Right.
to put on the lens of we the baddest and the best out here. And it's like, no, honey, we're not. We're not.
Mhm.
If you've
Food is
left here, you
trash.
know, no, we're not.
Right.
We we are struggling, okay?
Hmm. Hmm.
So for that, just to be knowledgeable about so many and that's why some people say like you got knowledge at your fingertips for you to be so ignorant, that's bad. I mean, you ain't even trying.
Right. Right. It's very few
Because
people who don't use social media at all.
in
Very,
what
very.
I have one, my sister, she's not on social, the most that she has is LinkedIn.
Hmm.
My oldest one, she's not my blood sister, but she's my sister.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but she is on YouTube.
Hmm.
So she's
Yeah.
getting she's realizing she has to have some because before
Hmm.
she would do none.
Hmm.
And I do think it is a disadvantage, especially when it comes to worldly things.
Yeah.
All that other BS, and again, it's all about the user. You determine what you are consuming.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you are complaining about all the trash because you are seeking those algorithms are learning you and what you're
Hmm.
looking at. So if
Hmm.
you're saying,
Hmm.
social media ain't nothing but trash, it's because you're looking up trash.
That's true.
And so it's giving you back what you've been seeking and looking up.
That's
So
kind of why I mentioned walking by him earlier. And like, I can count on one hand the times I've glanced over, like, what are you looking at? Or whatever. And it's never, but it's like he's seeking that stuff out. That's why it's
right, so then
not
it's not going to be a lot on his timeline
exactly
of so then that tells you if
right.
your person has a lot of, a lot
Go to the
a
eight.
lot of that,
Tell
then
them to
that's what
tap
they're looking
tap
at.
that search button and see what pop up on that list.
Lord Jesus. And like for me, like you would have to know me. So because I post like me working out, workout things, I am going to get muscle men and stuff that come up
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
my timeline.
Hmm.
Um, but and that's what I'm saying. Like for me, I don't fantasize when I see that. I don't be like, oh God,
Right.
okay,
Right.
he has a nice body. Okay,
Right.
I see he works out on this. And like for me, I tend to look at more men
Hmm.
for inspiration for working out. And I hate to say this because there are some women I'd be like, hey, that's honey, she killing it. But it's not too
Hmm.
many of them because most women are there for aesthetics. Like even when I go to the gym, I'd be like, girl, what are you doing?
Right. Right.
You over there with the 3 pound, got the shorter shorts on, you who's looking at me? Could you move out our way, please?
There'll be some of them to be so, and they're just taking pictures. I'm like, could you? I need that.
If
Could you
you
go
working
take
out,
that
I
picture
don't
over there?
mind the videos. I don't, I'd be like, get it, girl.
No, I'm saying not
No,
recording your
I know what you
workout.
say. Yeah, but I'm just like, if you actually working out, I don't
Right,
mind that.
right.
You ain't breaking out a sweat. I like your outfit. It's cute, but I need you playing. So I need you more.
But please move.
You need to come at a time when everybody ain't in there. So that's why
Right.
I like my gym now. But outside of that, yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
social can either crash your
It's true.
relationship, um, even your family, because some people be on there telling all their family business. I like it, but honey,
And that's for real though. There's a lot of inspiration on it too.
yeah,
Like with
it's what
it, let
you
me tell
looking
you
for.
something. and those moments where I be like, man, I'll say, and I'm a person, I do say things out loud, and I'd be like, man, I just really need XYZ. And then I'll get on there and,
Yeah.
because Big Brother be listening. And, I'll get those things. But it's, there have been some times that social media has just dropped right in that bucket exactly what I needed. And, but again, those are also things that I seek out sometimes.
Yeah.
So for those
It's
of you
just
who
right
may
on
not feel
time.
like is valuable or maybe have negative thoughts about social media or you've had negative experiences, just start kind of looking into it for the positive side. You'll be surprised as to what it can do. Like I've remodeled a house thanks to YouTube University. Um, even got I was inspired to start reading, and I haven't really started flipping pages again. But like, so Ralph kind of put me onto the audiobooks. But now I've been like, I've easily listened to probably 30 books in the last 4 to 5 months on audiobook.
Yeah.
And that's huge for me because I was the flashlight kid reader and I've been for years wanting to get back to reading. So now that I've kind of listened to almost everything that I kind of want to listen to.
Now you got to
And
go
I'm
back
like,
to
okay, I'm
paper.
gonna start turning pages again. But
Yeah.
but just to get the inspiration, because there's a section on TikTok where we got people who are just like, yo, this book.
Oh
And
yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
contagious, right? To see somebody so excited about reading a book. And I'm like, I want to read that book.
Yeah.
And that is that's a part of my self-care. Seriously. Like I need to lose myself. My mind is a busy thing.
But and also I get introduced to small business owners who I would never, I'm talking about you got a black girl over here in Oklahoma, got a whole cookie business. I would have never known about
Yeah,
her. So
right.
now she has access to all these people who can
Hmm.
say, honey, I'll ship these cookies right to you. Girl,
Yeah,
send me your cookies, you know?
yeah.
So pause.
Listen, you know what? I've been missing all those lately. Everybody, I'd be like, what are we pausing for? I'm like, oh,
Oh Lord.
that's okay. I'm
Look,
moving
you
to my sanctified season.
boo lies. Boo lies.
Woo.
But yeah, those that's what I'm saying. Those reasons, those are so big because again, you only had access to white pages and that
Right.
was so your region. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it
Hmm.
just allows, again, it's how you have this tool and either
Hmm.
you're gonna abuse it. And I'm gonna put it like how Dave Ramsey put it when it came
Hmm.
to money, but to social media. So Dave Ramsey said when it comes to money, money is just an amplifier. So, you know, when you gain a lot of money, all that does is amplify if you know who you are. So if
Hmm.
you're a really good
Hmm.
person, you're gonna be a really good person with a whole bunch of money. And if you're
Right,
a bad
right,
person, you're gonna be a really bad person with a lot of money. So with
right.
the access to the internet, as fast as may be, either you gonna still be a good person and
Hmm.
use this tool for good and research and gain knowledge and build business and build network and do all these things, or you're gonna find ways to sneak, cheat, steal, you know what I'm saying,
True.
scam.
Hmm.
You're
Hmm.
gonna you're gonna do that.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's all that is. And so
That's
whether you're in
true.
a relationship or not, whether you're trying to hurt somebody, you'll use this tool to do that.
Hmm.
So we're on here trying to
Very true.
spread knowledge and help people and get conversations going. And you got some people in here spewing about Black women, what they what no husbands and no fathers, but they got all these children somehow. I don't know how they got the kids without no man, but you know how they're just killing the Black families. Again, not sure how without what are the men
Hmm.
doing?
Hmm. Hmm.
But you have people like that. So everybody uses that just lets me know how you are without it.
Right.
That's who you are at your core.
Hmm.
You figured I'm gonna use this tool to either spread more hate, to spread more damage, and not even realize the circumstances that may come because this stay on here.
Hmm.
Unlike the yellow pages, the white pages,
Right.
a new one come out next year.
Right. You can get rid of the old and replace
You
it
can
with
do
the new.
another ad. That ad didn't work, whatever
Yeah.
it is. But the
Hmm.
internet,
Nah, there's no one there.
Just like how you say Facebook embarrass you and be like, 10 years ago, you put this out here.
I'd be like, I should delete this post.
You can delete it, but I'll still have it.
I know. Like just
And I'll tell you in 12 years, this is what you posted. So,
remember this? Like, why you got that?
yeah. So when
Why?
it comes to that, I just feel like it's the person. And
Yeah.
a good question to ask in dating,
Hmm.
I said, what's your, just to ease them into it, what's your favorite? Because if you ask, are you a scroller? Most people are going, oh, no,
Right. Right.
you know. So what's your, are you on social media? Yes. What's your favorite app?
Hmm. Hmm.
What do you like to consume on there? And then
Hmm.
that can kind of give me an idea whether you're on there a lot. Because if you give me a whole laundry list of things, then so you're on there quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm on, and then I can see what they're saying. Yeah, because in my business in contracting, I be getting good at it. So okay, you using it,
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
So
Good. This is a we have not this is our first social media discussion.
were you pleased?
I was pleased. Yeah, because this is something that is uh social media oftentimes comes up when we're in person for candy conversations because it does cause a lot of people issues. Like, yeah, they be on there talking to people. So it's just nice to be on this side of it and have the conversation without trying to like diffuse sometimes. Not, and that's not in a negative way, but some people feel really passionate about it because they feel like it causes issues. Um,
It does cause issue because it's the person you're with.
exactly. It's not social media.
So then that lets you know, then it's the person you're with, and you're refusing to acknowledge that it's the person you're with. And so you
Hmm.
want to blame it on something that's
Right.
causing them to do this. It's not common because
Hmm.
without social media, they talking to that person at work. They talking at
Hmm.
that person at the friend's house that and you're not
Yep.
with them. They're doing this behavior. Social, they don't just get on, they're not an angel and then all of a sudden get on
Right.
social media
Right.
and then the gravity of social media is making me talk to them. They're not doing it. So you need to find with I'm sorry.
You're so Leo. The gravity of social media. What?
Because I
Okay.
I
Yeah.
do I do this in all conversations. You should see
It's like, what? She just-
when oh God, I know I've made plenty of people mad, but I don't mean to. But I'll
I know you don't. You usually don't mean
no,
to.
yeah. I don't mean to, because sometimes I have to mimic you to show you what you
Right.
look like. So then I'm like,
Right.
you're over there just crying. So they're like, I don't look like that. Yes, you do. You do. You do.
Oh,
You do.
goodness.
But it's like you have to really look within. Why am I trying to blame social media? And I'm gonna have to pick on the women because we're just known for doing this.
Hmm.
But why are you gonna blame that woman? Right? She not in a relationship with you. She don't, what I'm saying? She doesn't have to respect you. The person you're in a relationship
Right.
needs to respect you. So if they have somebody come into them and saying, "Oh, don't you look handsome?" Thank you, my girlfriend would appreciate that. Because, honey, to me, I don't take lightly to that because I feel like you trying to diss my partner, you dissing me
Mhm.
because I picked them.
Right.
So
Right.
what you trying to say about me?
Right. Right. Facts.
But people
Facts.
who need attention, people who seek
Hmm.
out more attention, even though they're getting attention, because that's a lack of security within you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna eat that up,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And then you, on the other hand, because you don't want to lose, you don't want to be by yourself, you don't want to be lonely, you don't want to have to go back into the dating pool. You gonna say, "I'm gonna go on that girl DM." No, no,
Right.
no.
Ain't
You
nobody doing all
pass
that.
the step. You you pass the step.
Ain't nobody doing all that.
You skip the step because the first thing I'm gonna do is dot some I's over here. Yeah, you just caught that lead, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna
Dot
do
some
that.
eyes over here.
I ain't even worried about her because she gonna do what she do anyway.
Like facts.
You over
Seriously.
here, you with me. You say we're gonna be in a committed relationship.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So it doesn't look very committed. And so, maybe I need to put you in some darkness for a mile, make you look like a raccoon, you know,
The
jiggle some
darkness
things,
is here.
honey, jiggle some things up in there to make it start working again. What's going on?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not social media is not the
No.
issue.
It's the people on there. Just like you got the pedophiles, you got the essayers. It's the
It's
people.
the people.
It's the
Yeah.
people.
It is. It is. It is.
So stop going through their phone. You just interrogate them.
Right.
Don't say, y'all, if you're watching this, don't say nothing to your partner. Just pull out the chair, turn the light off, get that flashlight. You know what to do. Tell them Ralph told you to do it.
Because she really would.
Well, to be funny, I do it, yeah.
Yeah, to be funny, but then when the person is unsuspecting. Well, I don't have anything else. This was good. This has been a good marathon. I'll look more spruce the next time we meet
Please
because
don't embarrass me.
this is all natural right here. Y'all, this is the before. Y'all see
Oh
the
yeah,
after next.
yeah. For
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
real talk, y'all. Ralph got some great things coming up, and so do I. But we've been very busy, and we know we're about to be busy. So we have literally
child.
been recording a lot more than we're accustomed to make sure we can keep these going. So we hope y'all enjoy these uh next several, the last couple you saw in this one, because we were determined to stay consistent for you
Yes,
all. So,
yes. Every Wednesday, 8 o'clock,
mhm.
the episodes drop every single Wednesday. We haven't missed a Wednesday now. Was the other one late? Yes, because that was on me. I ain't gonna tell you. I was like, oh shoot, today Wednesday. But it was still Wednesday. So it came out on
Mhm.
Wednesday. But normally it's 8 o'clock in the morning. You can listen on your drive. You don't even have to watch us. Just listen on your
Right.
drive.
Just listen.
You know,
Yeah, especially this one, just listen.
listen at your desk at work.
Right.
Listen on if you got a long distance car ride.
Hmm.
You know,
That's when I get my YouTube in when
you
I'm
ain't got to
on that
sit down and
road.
stare at the phone or at the computer looking at us.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. Traveling is the best time to listen in. So, but
but
if you don't have anything else, I don't have anything else
so until next time, please, as always, do not embarrass me and keep it safe and sexy. Okay.
like this.
Because I listen to true crime. I don't want to hear about none of y'all on there. All right.